everything we talked about in this interview was all allegedly, so please don't take it too seriously. But as I say, this is all allegedly, so I hope you guys enjoy the interview with Blue Van Man, aka Dave. So enjoy. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and today we are joined by Blue Van Man. How you doing today, Dave?
I'm all right, mate. Thank you for having me on your channel, dude. I'm honoured. I'm following in some great names of Elliot and Lawrence, ain't I?
Yeah. So, how did you come up with the name Blue Van Man?
I'm a very simple lad. I like to keep things simple, and I have a blue van, and I'm a man. So that was it, really. It was just blue. That's all. Some people put real big thoughts into things, but no, that was it. Just blue van man, nice and easy.
So, have you always been very opinionated when it comes to things like food and other things like that?
Um, it it doesn't need to be food that I'm opinionated on. I'll be opinionated on everything. I think from a very early age, I used to give my opinion on things. I learnt it from my granddad Sid, and yeah, just make yourself known. As long as you're polite and respectful, make yourself known.
Of course. So, so the one thing I like about you, you're very considerate towards the disabled. Because before you, I didn't see many people say for the for the visually impaired. No, it sounds pretty obvious to say that, but a lot of people don't say it.
Yeah, it's the thing is when I used to say for the visually impaired, it was just a message between me and Uncle Steve and Auntie Sue. And I didn't realise how big for the visually impaired was going to like take off. It's a bit like Peter Kay's garlic bread. You know what I mean? You have people walking by shouting for the visually impaired, which is a good thing because it brings it out into the open of including everybody. So it you know what I mean?
As as somebody that has people with as somebody that has friends that are blind, it's very helpful because a lot of content creators tend to forget about people that are blind and people that are deaf. So it's nice to see somebody. It's nice to see somebody bringing that to the forefront, even even if it wasn't what you intended. I'm glad you did it. You know
Yeah,
what?
it's the thing is like well I go around Sue and Steve's, well I did until this bloody COVID thing. I go around their house, you know, twice a month, three times a month, and I'll describe things to Sue and Steve and you know what's actually happening. And then when I started up the YouTube, I could actually talk to them every day and describe things to them. So that's where it's all come from, really. But and then I started getting messages from people who are blind. Sorry, I've just burped there. I've been drinking fizzy water. For the visually impaired, I've just been drinking fizzy water. Um, and then I was getting messages from blind people saying, "We love what you do. You really give us an insight into the size of food and what it's shaped like," and they do love it. So it was, although it was an accident, it was meant, but it weren't meant for everybody.
Yeah. As I say, I wish more content creators would do that.
Yeah, yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah, but you know, the world's a big place, and there's a lot of people with all kinds of disabilities, and you know, we all need to include everybody. So, you know what I mean? Yeah, you're dead right. So,
So obviously, I'm not going to pretend like I've been following. I'm not going to pretend like I've been following you since day one. But the first time I saw you were on True Geordie's True News. Now, now you've said before you didn't know who he was. So when you first saw one of his videos, did you think he was taking the piss out of you, or did you understand that he was only joking, around, so to speak?
Yeah, first of all, I appreciate your honesty of saying you weren't following me before Drew Jordan, because I get so many people who say, "Oh, I've been following you from 1,000 subscribers," and I'm thinking, if you lot were all following me by then, I must have had about 50,000 followers then. It's like the amount of people who say, "Oh, I'm following you for you." The Brian thing was, well, I was at home and I started getting these messages saying you're on True News, and I'm thinking, what's True News? I haven't got a clue. So anyway, I put the video up and I found where I was, and people say that, oh, it was taking the piss out of you, and it wasn't. Do you know what? I look back on some of my videos and I take the piss out of myself. I find the funny side of, the funny humour in myself. So Brian and Lawrence weren't saying anything that I hadn't already said about myself. When I did the Five Guys and I went, I'm sweating like a fat pig, I actually laughed. So what they say is pretty much what I say about myself. In fact, I'm more cutting. I'm more critical of myself than, I'll say, what the fuck you said that for?
Yeah, I personally feel that if they didn't think you were good, they would not have put you on there in the first place. Like the one thing I would say about them, if they didn't think somebody had some talent, they would not have put you on there like over weeks in a row.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think I was. There was one bit. I think there was 1 week out of 12 where I wasn't on, and I mean, like Dave said, they put me out there, and Lawrence was telling me, they were saying that they actually thought I had actually got something to bring to YouTube, something fresh, something not new, but something original, and they must have seen something in me. I wish I knew what they've seen in me, because I haven't got a fucking clue.
I personally think it's because you're an older gentleman and you have a lot of that, you have a lot of banter to give.
Yeah, it probably is. I mean, first of all, I'm allowed to swear on it, because I keep saying swear words and something, you know what I mean? I don't want any of your parents or anything moaning.
Yeah, you can say whatever you want.
Cheers, buddy. I just, I forgot the bloody question.
I said it wasn't really a question, it was more of a statement. I said I think it's because you're older gentleman and you have a lot of banter.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I think it is. I think people have said to me, would you have done YouTube when you're in your 20s and your 30s? And I think the answer would have been no, because to do my channel, I try and bring a story, not a story, but I bring experiences of my life into it, and I try to explain to people things that have happened to me in the past, which make what I do like a story. It's a bit like everything I tell you is true. I don't lie to anybody. None of these about the bloke who died in the lorry while he was at work when he was having a wank. That was true. That's all true. You can phone my works up and they'll say, yeah, he died and his pants are around his ankles and the corner on the loop. I think you need to have certain life experiences to do what I do. So, and I do like banter, and I think I laugh at myself as well, which helps. So.
I feel bad. I feel a bit bad for laughing, but it's a funny story.
Yeah.
Did you know him personally, or was he just?
No, I didn't know him personally. He was just a driver that turned up. I wasn't actually working. I wasn't actually doing the forklift truck driving and that goods in. I was actually making the stuff, but he was a German driver. He brought a tank full of filler over, and they park up for the weekend. And they went and knocked on his door. There were no answer. They knocked on it again. Then they opened it. And there he was, sitting with his pants around his ankles with the porn on loop.
Well, that's a bit of an interesting. That sounds like a story you could tell at a party. Like,
It is, isn't it? I'll let you have that one, mate. I'll let you tell that one. Say you know somebody who died while knocking one out.
So anyway, I'll try and get myself back on track. My apologies, Dave. So what's been your favourite video to record, and Dave?
Say again, mate.
What's been your favourite video to record?
Oh, my favourite video. It's got to be meeting Jamie Vardy. To give him his trophy for Player of the Month was absolutely unreal. You know what I mean? I mean, there's bigger Leicester fans out there than me. I am a Leicester fan, and I've started to go back down and watch him at the King Power. But to be asked to do that, it was absolutely. I mean, Elliot told you the story, didn't he, about the email?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you just want to repeat the story again, just in case?
Yeah.
I got news here that I haven't seen that interview before.
Yeah, I'll do that, mate. Well, what happened? Well, we've got Elliot helps me out. Elliot helps me out massively. I'd absolutely be lost without Elliot. And anyway, he was going through my emails, and because obviously we've got a shared account thing for Blue Band Man,
Yeah.
and he went through my the trash emails, and opened one up, and it was from EA Sports asking me if I wanted to present Jamie Vardy the trophy. So anyway, he phones me up and he says, Dave, do you want to present Jamie Vardy with his Player of the Month award? And I'm saying, like, are you for fucking real, mate? Of course I do. And he says, right, can you get to Leicester training ground on Thursday? Was it Thursday or Tuesday? It don't really matter. And anyway, so I got the day off, went and had a word with my boss, and I says, look, Dave Chapman, who my boss is, I said, Dave, you've got to let me have the day off. He said, why? Because normally you have to give 7 days notice to have the day off. He says, keep it to yourself, but I'm giving Jamie Vardy his Player of the Month award. He went, fuck off. I says, no, I'm giving Jamie Vardy. I had to show him the email asking me to go. And he went, well, you better go then, haven't you? So that was it, really. But it was all down to Elliot going through my junk mail. Because if he hadn't done that, I'd have never known.
I always say, always get your emails, because a lot of people don't bother to get them unless it's like work related. So always get your emails, because you never know what's coming in there.
Yeah, you're right, mate. I mean, my Blue Van email account is just basically anything that's Blue Van Man, it just goes straight to there. So Elliot I don't open the emails because I let Elliot deal with all that, because, you know, if we ever get a brand deal, Elliot takes his part, which is, and I'm so appreciative that Elliot wanted to help me and that kind of thing. So I'll just leave that for Elliot, and it was brilliant how he found it, and it just adds to the story of me meeting Jamie Vardy that it never nearly happened. So
Did you actually get to say anything about from well done to him, or was it just like take a photo and then go basically?
No. I went into the training ground and met a few of the people down there. We had a chat and all that. Jamie come out and he shook my hand and he went, "Oh, pleasure to meet you, big man." I thought, well, he said, "Pleasure to meet you, big lad." And big lad is actually my nickname with all my mates. And I says, "Oh, you know my nickname?" And he went, No, mate. He says, "No, it's big lad." So then he had a chat, just general chit chat. He had a good trip down here and all that, and that was it. And then he had to do some interviews with EA Sports, answered a few questions, and that was it. He was just a sound bloke. He weren't up his own arse or, giving it the big one. He was just a decent bloke. And one of the funny things was, he says, EA Sports says, do you play FIFA or the football game? And he says, yeah, I do play it, but not much. And he says, well, why don't you play it much? He says, I play the fucking game. Why do I want to play it on a computer? You know what I mean? It's like he actually plays football, what we only dream of. So that was it, really. And then I was only there. I met him for about 20 minutes, but it's such an honour. So.
It must have felt like a lifetime. Because even like with only 20 minutes, it must have felt like the longest 20 minutes of your life.
Yeah, I mean, it was great. He's signed a couple of shirts for me. The FIFA cards. In fact, 1 second, don't go anywhere. Is it still here? Oh, I don't know where it's gone. I actually got a sign. I thought it was in that cabinet. What's it underneath? Sorry, mate. Sorry, folks. This is how media works.
I believe this is the first time anybody ever got looking for my interview and looking for something.
No, I don't know where it's gone, mate. I haven't got a clue where we've put them. But the FIFA cards?
Yeah,
he signed me one of them, so I've got two of them. And I don't know what to do with them. I'm going to frame them or something and stick them on the wall. But sorry about that.
No worries, mate. The one thing I would say, like you're very authentic and genuine, and I think that's why so many people are attracted towards you.
Yeah, I think it's. I think what it is that I just be like normal life. A lot of YouTubers do tend to edit, and if they make a mistake, they take that out. And I think because I make a mistake, and I'll just go off and do something and leave the camera running, because that's how life is. And if anybody does want to do a YouTube channel, just think of like doing it like me, because I know people who have been doing it 10 years or so, and they've only got like 20, 30,000 subscribers. And I'll say only, I mean, that's quite a lot, but people just need to chill out and relax. You know what I mean? Take the piss out of themselves and don't take yourself so serious.
I know you say only 20,000, but that's still nothing to sneeze at. I would love to get to 20,000 one day.
I bet you get well over 20,000, mate. Because I've seen a couple of your videos. And I'm not going to show pity or anything like that, because Unky Steve doesn't want sympathy or anything like that. And I would guess you're the same. You just want to do this and be as successful as you can. And I reckon you've got something about you where you're a very likable kind of guy. And I think you'll do well at this.
Thank you, mate. I really appreciate it. I do that quite a lot, obviously, from a couple of my viewers, but I think coming from somebody that you respect, it means a lot more, if you know what I mean. Obviously, yeah. I appreciate all the watchers saying that, but coming from somebody like you that I like on the regular, it does mean a lot more, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. I mean, I think, like you just said, I tend to speak the truth from the heart. I won't insult. And I don't say anything to try and hurt anybody, but you're a decent. You seem a decent. I've watched your videos and I think, yeah, you're all right. You're quite. If I thought you were a knob, I wouldn't do this. But you're not. You're all right.
I think there's nothing wrong with giving criticism, as long as you do it in a constructive way and a considered way, excuse me.
Exactly. Constructive criticism is one of the best things out there. And if people take it to heart or take it the wrong way, then they've got a problem. They'll never succeed.
like for me, yeah, I might say that looks a bit shit, but because the colouring might be a bit off or something like that. I would, I'm not one of these people that will go that is shit and not explain why I think it's shit, if you know what I mean. And sometimes, depending on the person, I don't use the word shit. Like if you ask me my opinion on one of your videos, and and I genuinely thought it was shit, I would say that looks a bit, that looks a bit shit, Dave.
Yeah, totally agree, mate. I totally agree. I would, as long as you say it in a respectful way. I mean, a lot of people don't like everything I do. A lot of people like the stuff I do in the back. There's a few people who don't like June on the videos. There's a few people who don't like my Fox Sake and my BBM Talks of Championship. And some people don't like my beer garden. But everybody seems to like something I do. So if I just did the same one thing, me in a van with McDonald's, it'd be boring. It'd get shit in the end. So I just like to try and bring everybody in on me little ride kind of thing. You know what I mean?
I try and do the same thing because I know not everybody can enjoy my football interviews, but I also have wrestling people on as well, and other sports people and actors and things like that. So I always say if you don't enjoy one interview, just wait till there's one that you do like too many people feel like they have to like every single video that you do, and that's nice. But I just think you don't need to, do you? Let's do it. There's so much content out there for you to enjoy. So why do you need to comment saying I don't like this interview? You like how does that help anybody, if you know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean, mate. It's like if you watch BBC One, you don't watch BBC One from 6 o'clock in the morning all the way through till fucking 1 o'clock in the morning in the following day. And you don't watch everything. And you don't, I mean, some people don't like the repair shop. Some people don't like Home and Away. Some people don't like EastEnders. But some people will like Question Time or something. So you're not going to like everything. And this is why I've only said it a few times, but I never really say like and subscribe. Because if you don't like what I do, I can always tell you to fuck off.
that, that that's that's a good outlook to have because I'm guilty of it. I do say like and subscribe because it just the force habit of mine. Like I don't even know I'm doing it sometimes. It's just like
Yeah.
a force habit.
Yeah. I mean, when I first met Brian, he says, you should say like and subscribe. And I said, you can't do it, Brian, because I want to tell people to fuck off if they don't like it. And he laughed. So it's all good.
So yeah, obviously, Ronnie mentioned that you're a big Leicester fan. So obviously, unfortunately, you missed out on Champions League this season. And I just think, from a personal perspective, I think it really let you down.
Yeah, I think, to be fair, mate, right, Leicester weren't playing well last year. They beat Southampton and they were having a massive, brilliant run. I went to the Everton game at home and Iheanacho scored and it was decided on VAR and he was only just onside and all that. But you could see the rot setting in then. And then we played Norwich at home and we only drew 1-1. And like, me and Ginge went down the football and I said, this is going to start going wrong here. Anyway, we had a couple of lucky wins and the momentum started to carry on. But we played Liverpool at home on Boxing Day and we got fucking battered 4-0. And, we were still 14 points clear of the team in fifth in February. But we just threw it away. We should never have lost to Bournemouth. We should never have drew against Watford. We would just. It was almost as if Brendan had run out of ideas, or the players couldn't handle the pressure of other teams catching us. But I will say fair play to Man United. They've done an excellent job. They knew what they had to do. They came and they beat us. And so people keep saying on the kickoff and stuff, I've just released it for Fox's sake, and people are calling me salty. I'm not salty. I'm just fucking disappointed that Leicester threw away all them points. So that's the way it is.
There's something wrong with being disappointed. Because at one point, you were second, so you would have thought we're gonna end up in the top 4 here, based off being second. I believe we were second at Christmas, wasn't
Yes.
it? So by that position, you would have expected to finish in the top 4 easily.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, we should have. I mean, when you think about it, we've only missed out on a couple of points or so, and we should have beat Bournemouth. We should have beat Watford. We should have beat Brighton. We should have had a penalty at home against Brighton when it hit Doink's arm. Dunk's arm, not Doink. Doink's a clown, isn't it? Wearing big shoes and a red nose and a red wig. Yeah, we should never have been in the position of having to battle through on last day for a win. And no, I'll say it again. Fair play to United. They've done the job. Fair play to Chelsea. That's it. There's no more I can say. I'm disappointed. People saying I'm being Mardy or whatever. I'm not. I'm just disappointed. People can't differentiate between Mardy and disappointed.
Yeah. So one thing I would say about Brendan Rodgers is obviously when he was at Liverpool, they had a good start and then they fell away. So he's becoming a bit notorious for like having a good start and then falling away. I mean, I hope he has a good season next season because I do like him as a manager, but obviously you do need to be aware of that. This is the second time it's happened.
Yeah, I've heard. I mean, I chat to some Celtic fans, and I did it for Fox's sake when Liverpool beat Leicester, and there were some Leicester fans holding the Sun logo up, and I basically said that Liverpool, Leicester fans shouldn't have done that. It was bang out of line. When all said and done, all football fans should unite as one. Even though you've got football hatred, you know, people died. Putting the Sun logo up isn't right. And I got, for Fox's sake, apparently I was getting these messages. Well, it weren't apparently. I did get these messages from Liverpool fans saying, everybody's watching your video. Everybody's watching you for Fox's sake in Liverpool. So now I've got like thousands and thousands of Liverpool fans. And they were all saying, you know, I've had messages from them saying, Brendan Rodgers, he's all right, but he doesn't seem to have a plan B. He doesn't seem to be able to change things when he needs to. And Celtic fans, they've been saying that as well. So I'm just hoping Brendan learns. I don't want him sacked. I honestly don't want Brendan sacked because, you know, you start sacking managers and then your club starts going downhill and you could end up like Leeds and Forest and also like Leicester did a few years ago. So let's just stick with Brendan and it'll be all right.
Yeah, you never know. I know it's highly unlikely, but next season you couldn't potentially win the league because I know it sounds a bit silly. I know it sounds a bit silly to say that, but anything can happen, can't it? Like nobody would have predicted you to win the league the first time, is it? So who knows?
Yeah, I mean, do you know, like Leicester's owners, we're not short of a few quid. Leicester City's owners are about the 5th or 6th richest in the Premier League. You know, we've actually got more money than Manchester United. They're our owners. And we haven't got the debt that United are carrying, which is also wrong. You know, I mean, when I slag Man United off, I don't slag the fans off. What I'm doing is I'm slagging the owners off for absolutely going in and taking everything out of the club. But, you know, if Leicester buy wisely, I mean, we've got James Justin. Is it James Justin or Austin? I keep wanting to call him Austin for some reason. We've got Justin, the new lad. That Luke Thomas, he looks good. We've got Hurst who's coming on. Leicester we've just had a new training ground built just over there. It's only about 4 miles away from where I live, and they reckon it's like one of the best in the world, not just Europe, but one of the best in the world. So, we're looking to expand the ground, and we've got money. I'm excited for things down the King Power. It's looking good. It's looking a damn sight better than some teams. So,
I personally feel like you're going to do really well in the Europa League.
Yeah. Do you know what, mate? I hope we get knocked out in the first round, because I do not want to be travelling to Kazakhstan on a Thursday night and then having to come home and play Man City on away on a Sunday, because it's too much. That's just what I think. I'm not particularly too worried about the Europa League, or the Europa League as I call it. I'm more concentrated on the Premier League. So,
but of course, if the opportunity comes up for you to win it, you obviously do want to win it, don't you? Because it's a trophy. It's a trophy at the end of the day.
And it's qualification into the Champions League, I think, isn't it?
Yeah. This season it's going to be a waste if somebody like Man United wins it, because they're already in the Champions League.
Yeah. Hopefully Wolves will win it. It'd be nice to see Wolves win it. They've had a tremendous season, Wolves. So
I really do like Wolves. My family are Villa fans, but I really respect Wolves as a team. I think the manager's brilliant.
Yeah, he is. He is a good little manager, isn't he? He's really good. I went to Wolves ground years and years ago. They just had the big, massive stand built, and the rest of the ground were a shithole. But it looked, it was back in them days. I mean, Leicester's ground were a shithole when it used to be Filbert Street. It was a nice, compact, tight little ground, but some of it was a shithole.
But to be fair, apart from the big clubs, was every ground a shithole back then, though?
Yeah, I think they probably were, weren't they? I mean, I went to Everton years and years ago, and that were a nice little ground, that were, but it's still the same, isn't it, Goodison? It's still the bloody same.
Yeah, I've heard horror stories from that stadium. Like if you're sitting in a good spot, it's okay. But if you're sitting in certain spots, you have a great big hole in front of you.
Yeah, you got the stanchion, ain't you? You got a great big metal girder.
I think eventually every Premier League club will have a great big stadium, because it looks better on TV, doesn't it? Even if they can't fill it out.
Yeah, it does. The only thing is, it's like you say, a Premier club should have a stadium. Sunderland have got the stadium to be in the Premier League, but they just, they haven't got anything now. I don't know what the crowd attendances are at Sunderland now, but I bet they're not as big as they were in the Premier League.
To be honest, I'm surprised Sunderland haven't downgraded at least to a smaller stadium, so it looks flat out. I can imagine not many people would like to go watch League One stuff, or maybe they do, because in Newcastle they're very football orientated, aren't they? So maybe they do. I don't know, to be honest.
No, I don't. I ain't got a clue. Do you know what, mate? I'm more worried about Leicester.
I don't blame you. So what did you think about Villa surviving? Do you have any
do you know what, right? I think the Premier League does need clubs like Aston Villa, because they're a big club, aren't they, when all's said and done. But I've got a mate, and he used to live round the corner, but he lives in Loughborough. And he absolutely hates Leicester, but he's a Villa fan. So I would have liked to have seen Villa go down just to fucking shut him up. But no, Villa have done well. I mean, the bloke, who's the manager? I can't remember his name.
Dean
Dean,
Smith.
Dean Smith, that's it. You get to 50, mate, you can't remember half the stuff. And anyway, his dad died, didn't he, because of the COVID thing? But he's done a tremendous job. You know, I don't know what they're going to do without Grealish next year, because I can't really see him staying. I think he will take a wander. I think the money will entice him away. So,
honestly, mate, I think we are just. Well, to be honest, I don't really support them like that. But I think they are delaying the inevitable. To be honest, because I think without Grealish next season, I think they're going to be even worse. To be honest.
Yeah, I totally agree, mate. And you never know that is it Tyrone Mings, the lad at the back. You know, I think they're going to struggle to keep him because other teams will want him. I personally think, and I think he's worth it as well.
In the perfect world, yeah, I think the Villa, even though I don't think he would come to us, I think the Villa could benefit from somebody like Troy Deeney, even though he's not the best player in the world. He's got a bit of steel about him, if you know what I mean.
He's a grafter, isn't it? He's a grafter. He gets stuck in. Do you think Eddie Howe would do a good job at Villa? You know, because of his experience at Bournemouth.
I personally would take him, but obviously I think this season Bournemouth have been. I know a lot of things going to get him relegated, but I don't think Bournemouth were playing good enough football. But you never know; he might be able to do something out of that. So I definitely would take him. I think he's better than Dean Smith for certain.
I think there's just a bit of a connection into with Dean Smith. I think it's just the Villa connection and all that. But we'll see. We'll see.
I can understand why they didn't take him this season, especially after they came back, because they, even though they weren't scoring defensively, they definitely were a lot better.
Yeah, they were. Apparently, I was listening to the radio when I was going down to the kickoff yesterday, and apparently he's been studying videos of Napoli, and somebody else on their defensive system, and apparently it's worked. What he's learned from these videos, it's worked. It's it's obviously worked. It's kept them up. So,
did you see Troy Deeney's interview? You probably did see because it did go quote unquote viral, but I don't know whether you saw it. But basically, the interview basically said, "Are you done? Are you retired?" And he basically said, I'm not that old, you cheeky bastard."
No, I've not seen it yet. Obviously, I was driving back up yesterday, so I missed all the interviews. And when I come home, I sit with June and we have a chat, and you have to be the family man kind of thing. Then this morning, I went round Morrison's, text you, because I'm supposed to be reviewing my mate's Morgan sports car. But because it's pissing down, we couldn't have the roof down, so we've knocked that on the head. So no, I've not seen anything, to be fair, yet, but I'll look that up.
Basically, if you go into my tweet, I retweeted it. So if you want to see it, it's on there. It's on there. So.
All right, mate. I'll do that. I'll have a look.
My point was, because obviously it's very authentic kind of person. That was my point by bringing that up. So I think he'll be a good. I don't think they would ever make him captain, because obviously he's a blue supporter, and I don't think the fans would take to him like that.
No.
Obviously, but I do think he'll be a good player for us.
Yeah, I like him. He's all right. He's steady into the grafter. So I like players. Do you know what? I like players that get stuck in and graft. I can't be doing all these little flicks and make sure your hair's all right and your collars look good. And just go and play football and win. That's all you've got to do.
To be honest, respectfully, Dave, I disagree with you to a certain extent. And do you know when a play does dribble between 3 or 4 players and then they put it in the top corner? I think it looks class.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it does. But what I was trying to say is, you've got to have a. I love a player like Roy Keane and Patrick Vieira. I used to love. I mean, Arsenal are like my second team because I used to love watching them with Patrick Vieira and Tony Adams and Seaman, and then right up front. And I love a player like Patrick Vieira or Roy Keane, somebody who gets stuck in and lets other players know they're there.
Yeah, but to be honest, I don't think you can have a player like that in a modern game because I think.
No. Yeah, you're dead right, mate. We were talking about that on the kickoff yesterday.
Yeah, I watched it, mate.
Yeah, them days are gone, isn't they? Them days have gone. So.
But I wouldn't say I'm a hardcore Villa fan. Like if they do well, I like them to do well. But I'm a very realistic football fan. Like I just like football as a whole. To be honest, I'm not like a hardcore fan like you are, Black or anybody else. I just like football. I'm very neutral, to be honest.
Yeah, that's all right. Do you actually do you go down the Villa at all? Do you get to go down the football or?
No, because you know the disabled section, it's like a 3-year waiting list, and for somebody that's not really that. I don't want to say I'm not bothered, but I'm not like a hardcore fan. I don't think it's worth waiting 3 years.
No, you might have lost interest. You might be in Division 3 by then.
And I don't think it's fair to take a spot that a hardcore fan would really like to have, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I understand that, mate. Yeah, you sound a bit like me with the Jamie Vardy thing. You know, like I said, there's bigger fans out there than me, but you know, I got asked, so I'm going to take it.
Yeah, like you'd never turn down an opportunity because you never know where it could lead to. Like it's highly unlikely, but somebody from Leicester could have seen it and say we could work with him a lot more.
Yeah, give me a brand deal. Get me a brand deal, folks. Watch me Jamie Vardy video and give me a brand deal.
You know, the opportunity came up for you to interview a couple of Leicester players, would you take it, or would you think I would rather just keep doing what I'm doing?
If the opportunity came, say I could get like Johnny Evans and Jamie Vardy on for Fox sake, I'd take it, definitely. I'd love to have a chat with someone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I'm going to be honest. If the opportunity came up, there was like a Premier League footballer on my channel, I know a lot of people would say, "Oh, I want to keep it authentic and genuine." But I'm not going to lie. I would love to have them on, as long as I could ask them whatever I wanted, and I know they're very limited on what they can say and what they're allowed to say.
Oh yeah, I agree. It's the thing is though, you say keep it authentic. There's nothing more authentic than getting the chance to chat to a footballer, because everybody wants to chat to a footballer, a Premier League player. So yeah, I'd go for it.
But what I mean is, because obviously when you're interviewing a footballer, 9 times out of 10, you get a bit of that certain questions and it becomes boring like a standard interview.
Yeah, I know what you mean, mate. You want to ask them stronger questions, don't you?
Yeah, like you know, if I got the opportunity to ask Johnny Evans a question, I would ask you what happened with the taxi.
Yeah. You've got to eat you. You got to say, what were you doing in that taxi, mate? Come on.
And obviously, they're not gonna want you asking questions like that. So it's just a bit difficult, really. Because obviously,
But
so
this is the thing, this is what I'm saying. You've got something about you, you've got a personality, and I'm not saying your disability, but I'm saying you've got the personality to ask them that question and get away with it.
to be honest, I know you don't mean like that, but because of my disability, I probably would to a certain extent.
Fucking brilliant.
Like,
Milk it, mate.
like, I sometimes I do exploit to a certain extent. Obviously, if you have a disability, don't do this. It's just what I do. I wouldn't recommend exploiting it, by the way, guys. It's just something that I do.
Yeah, I know what you mean, mate. Yeah, you've been dealt these cards in life. Funky Steve, he'd do the same. You've been dealt these cards in life, and you have to try and get what you can sometimes. So I won't blame you if you did.
And what really annoys me here, like, do you know if they said to me, I don't want to talk about that, I would be happy with it, but other than don't have the social skills to basically say I don't feel comfortable answering that. Because if they say, for example, if Johnny Evans said, I really don't want to talk about that, like it was a bad time in my life, obviously, yeah. I would respect that.
That's fucking spot on, mate. I agree with that. Yeah, I can't say any more. I agree with you. That's a good point. It was a bad time in his life, and well, things go wrong for people, don't they? So, yeah, good answer, mate. Yeah.
But what I don't like is when you go in for an interview and you automatically get cut down, not even by the person, but by the PR team. That don't really grind my gears, to be honest.
Yeah. It's all fake, isn't it? If it's all, in fact, if they don't want to talk about things that, obviously, there's certain things people don't want to talk about, but if they're not going to talk about and give you proper answers, there's no point in wasting your time on them, is there?
Like, I always say to the person, why not? Because I know you pretty well from your videos, and I know you basically answer anything for the most part. But when I interview, like, say, wrestling, for example, that I might be starting soon, I'm gonna say to them, is there anything you don't want to talk about before we start? And then if they say yes, then that's fine.
Yeah. Not everybody wants a personal life putting out there. And there is some things that you do want to keep personal that, well, you do, don't you? You just don't want everybody knowing everything. I know when you put your face out here, you are opening yourself up for ridicule and everything, but there is certain things that you don't want everybody knowing. So, yeah.
Yeah, to keep it respectful and just be like a normal human being. I hate the mainstream media for the most part because they always try and get little stories and they always try and make people look bad. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's no need for it half of the time.
No, and all it is they're just using it because it's a slow news day. Hey, do you want me to get June on the camera to say hello to you?
If she wants to, of course.
Let me go and see. June, you want to come say hello to Anthony for his video?
This is the first time.
Yeah, mate, she's the first time she's been on a podcast, so just say hello.
Hello, Jude, how are you?
I'm very well, thanks. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Excellent. Way to go.
Say that again, sorry, I didn't hear that.
I said excellent. That's the way to go.
Yeah. Having a good day today.
I am now, yeah. Yeah.
She's been work this morning. Well, she's not been work. She's just popped into her work to see how things are going because she's been furloughed, ain't you,
I've
Lord?
been furloughed till September, so.
I'm sorry to hear that, but
she's not. She's loving it. She's at home pissing me off all the while. So. So I thought if I get June on it, you might get a few more views on your video.
If I'd have known, I'd have put my lipstick on.
Yeah, nice to meet you, June.
Yeah, you too. I'm going to
Okay.
finish my tea now. Bye.
She's
Bye.
gone. That's it. You'll be able to put that in the title, BBM and June. We did a live the other night, but I normally do a live on my own. I only get 10,000. She was on it, got 24,000.
Yeah, a lot of people, a lot of the internet love lady that at the age.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it? Yeah.
Speaking of that, yeah, I'm actually trying to get a couple more females on the channel, yeah. But it's a bit difficult because half of the time they don't look at their DMs, because half of the time they get a load of creepy young men in there, so it's a bit difficult sometimes.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Yeah, I suppose in one way you need some kind of an agent to speak for you. And I don't mean that you can't speak for yourself, but sometimes it's more, I don't know, coming from I represent such and such, it just sounds a bit better. You know what I mean? So,
To be honest, what were you going to say, sir? What I was going to say was I think if I was, the blue tick, if I was verified, I think it would be a lot easier because obviously if somebody's verified, they must have some sort of credibility, mustn't they?
Yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it, mate, to be fair? And another thing is that sometimes people just don't want to do anything, do they? They don't want to do an interview or anything, so.
But the people that I'm talking about, yeah, they do interviews with other people, yeah. And when I look at their interview style, it's, I don't want to call it crap, obviously, because people are trying their best, but it's not very good.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, I mean, another thing is, you see, I feel that because I had such a boost from Brian and Lawrence and True News, I feel that if I can help a channel like yours that's just developing and growing, and I can help you get views and subs, and like with Chris the Butcher. Do you watch Chris the Butcher?
Honestly, I don't have a clue who that is, mate, to be honest.
Do you know what? I like your honesty, mate. At least you're not pretending that you know. Look up Chris the Butcher. He's fucking hilarious. He's pissed off the time. He does cooking, and he's just really funny. So go and have a look at Chris the Butcher. But if I can help a smaller channel start to grow, it's great, because it's no good coming to wanting to help somebody when they've got 50,000 subscribers. Let's, try and get them when they're at the start, and they'll appreciate you helping more, won't they?
Yeah. My personal plan with this channel, as you might have noticed, I'm slowly going through all of the kickoff guys.
You dirty sluts.
Because I knew if I get Lawrence on and he likes it, he can recommend me to buy it at some point. And then
Yeah.
I'm like, did that be a dick? Or do you think that's a bit dickish to do that?
No, mate. You get what you can. You do what you do. I mean, if you can get them to help you grow, I mean, fuck me, they help me grow. So, yeah, you do what you think's right, mate. You go. That's the trouble. People think too much. Don't think, just do.
Obviously, of course, they can't make Brian come on. But if they mention me to him and he likes my stuff, then what's the problem with that?
There is no problem at all. I tell you, KG, the Man United fan yesterday.
Yeah.
He was brilliant. Me and him had a right laugh, and I didn't want to because he's a Man United fan, but he'd be a good one to have a chat with. He's great.
I love him. I don't know if you've heard of a platform called the United Stand. But
Yeah, that's it.
But he's a regular on there. He's a regular on there, and he's brilliant.
Yeah, To be fair, I never really knew of it. Because when I walked into the kickoff yesterday, he's sitting there on his phone, and he went, "All right, mate." I says, "You're the United fan, then, ain't you?" I said, "You're KG." He says, "Yeah." He says, "Who are you?" I says, "I'm the Leicester fan for today." He went, "Oh, for fucking hell." He says, "No, what they're doing to me," because he didn't know I was on. So he was well funny. So yeah, you ought to try him as well, KG. He's good.
Yeah. I know you mentioned on Twitter that you don't really watch it anymore, but I've heard that you were a pretty big wrestling fan. So who are some of your favourites growing up?
I've watched the WWE from around the mid-'80s when Hulk Hogan and Macho Man and all them were on it, and Ted DiBiase and Berman, and, you know, all the proper stuff. But I watched the proper stuff, the Attitude Era.
I mean it's in nicest way possible. What do you mean, like the proper stuff? Like, do you just like the storyline better than the Attitude Era, or was it the character that you like more? Like, I'm genuinely curious.
I'll be honest with you, mate. Stone Cold Steve Austin was just superb. It was like Stone Cold Steve Austin's character was like an everyday man at work who hated his boss, and you know the battles he had with Vince McMahon was superb. You know, the Stone Cold was just like a working man. He was that kind of the bloke going to work, fed up. Stone Cold would come out, drink beer, kick some ass, and leave. And that's how most, I would have thought in the day, most men felt. I just want to go to work, kick the fucking boss's arse, go home and have a beer. And that. But I love The Rock. The Rock had the crowd. The Rock could hold the crowd in his hand with his talk. Triple H, you know, Shawn Michaels, they were superb in the day. And then when like WCW started to come in and like create problems, and it actually woke the WWE up, you know, because the WWE were just taking everything, right, we're going to be number one, we're going to be number one. But the WCW came in and started taking their wrestlers. It was brilliant to see. It was great. So
yeah, to be honest, mate, even though I'm still a fan today, yeah. I mainly watch in ring stuff because you know the character, you know the characters. They don't have any creative freedom nowadays. Like back in the day, Stone Cold has a bit more creative control over his character.
yeah, totally agree, mate. Totally agree.
I don't know about how much you're including how it works and that. Obviously, when they're doing a promo, you know, when they're doing it in the interview nowadays, they are told exactly what to say, when to say it, and how to say it.
Yeah.
And back in the day, if they were a bit more ad-libbed, didn't it? If you know what I mean.
I do. I mean, there was a big interview with Dean Ambrose, weren't they? You know when Roman Reigns had leukemia again and he turned on Seth?
Yeah,
there was a big interview, weren't there, with Dean Ambrose, and he was saying that Vince McMahon wanted him to do this and that and like Dean Ambrose was saying, I don't do that. That's not my character. I don't do that shit. And that apparently that was the reason he decided to leave WWE, because he had no control over his character.
Have you ever seen that episode of AEW AEW or not really?
I've watched a little bit. Do you know what, mate? My life is that busy at the moment. I haven't got time to wipe my own arse. But I have seen some of the WWE, AEW. I love it with Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho is a second to none wrestler. His mic work is absolutely brilliant, and he's always reinventing himself. He's always thinking that when he used to have the list, you've just made the list. I thought that was such a clever but simple piece of character play.
The person that came up with that was actually somebody called Jimmy Jacobs.
Was it?
I don't, because I watch every single wrestling promotion out there.
Do you?
Yeah.
Cool. I've watched a fair few of them. I used to watch Ring of Honor and all that kind of stuff, but like I said, I just run out of time.
Like, remember back in the day, there used to be a wrestling channel on Sky, or was it on cable?
I watched. I don't know.
Because back in 2002, there used to be a dedicated channel to.
Oh yeah, they did, didn't they? Yes, I know what you mean now. Yeah. I thought you said, did I watch it on normal telly or cable? Yeah. What was it called?
I can't remember. I think it's really gonna piss me off. But I can't remember exactly what it was called. They used to have everything on there. They used to have some New Japan and TNA and Ring of Honor and CCW.
Yeah. Oh, I can't remember what it were, mate. I can remember the channel now, but I can't remember what it was called. But yeah, they were, weren't they? And it was just pure, like, young, well, start-off wrestlers and stuff. They used to show people who they thought would be up and coming, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a really big wrestling nerd.
I've lost interest in it in a bit. I mean, did you see the thing where Seth Rollins pulled out Rey Mysterio's eye?
Yeah, that was stupid. That was so stupid. I actually made a video on that. Why not? My review of Extreme Rules, I basically forgot to mention it because it was so stupid that I forgot that.
Oh, there's no need for that. There is no need to pull. You know, I find that quite insulting because people like Unky Steve and Auntie Sue. Yeah, why would you want to pull somebody's eye out? I can't work it out.
I know exactly what you mean. Another thing I'm not really enjoying at the moment, you probably heard about it, even if you haven't seen it. Oh, Jeff Hardy storyline. I've been alcoholism. I really don't like things like that. Because obviously people are genuinely dealing with people with alcoholism and other substance abuse problems.
Yeah, it's a bit like Scott Hall, weren't it? Because they used his alcoholism in the WCW, didn't they?
Yeah.
And they tried to get round it by him getting drunk and stuff, and they were just using and abusing him. And these companies have got to really take a look at themselves when there's people with drug problems and alcohol problems. And I take it you saw the fight with Hardy and not Sting, weren't it, in TNA?
Yeah.
When he just rolled him up, didn't he, within like a couple of seconds because Hardy was out of it, weren't they? You know, you shouldn't be taking the piss out of things like that.
Like, I know what you're talking about, but apparently he was genuinely under the influence. I don't know how they let him go out there under the influence.
No, I don't. I mean, surely you've got a care, a care for a responsibility for your staff. I mean, where I work, we wouldn't let somebody go and drive a forklift if they'd just down half a bottle of vodka, and you know what I mean.
Yeah, the whole wrestling industry is really scummy at times.
Yeah, you're right, mate.
As long as we can make money out of here, I don't care. But the one thing I would say, at least in WWE, it's become a lot more professional for the most part. Like
Yeah,
half of the roster are just normal guys. Like they don't drink, they don't smoke, they don't do anything like that. They just love wrestling.
yeah, you're right, mate.
And a lot of people find that a bit boring, but I would rather people do that than dying at the age of 30.
Yeah, I agree, totally agree. It's to be a wrestler and a sports person nowadays takes a lot of dedication. And you know, back in the day, let's face it, you've only got to look at Lex Luger, and he must have been pumped up so much steroids. And Scott, the brothers, a big Papa Pump. Ridiculous.
Steiner. Yeah, like he's going. Sorry, I was a bit waylaid there. Sorry. You know, Lex Luger. You know, nowadays he's confined to a wheelchair.
Yeah, I know. So sad, isn't it?
Yeah. Like that. That's what happened. Then he's destroyed your body over like 20 years or so. Which
yeah. But I wonder how much of that was put down to the promoters saying, right, take the steroids, get yourself worked up, get yourself pumped up. You know, I mean, I wonder how much of that was down to their bosses saying, oh, take this, it'll be all right.
Yeah, I don't know what you know behind the scenes stories, but you know, in '94, Vince McMahon was actually, I don't want to say he was charged, but he was nearly charged with drug distribution, and he could have gone to prison.
Yeah, I heard that as well. I've read and heard that kind of stuff. Yeah, I mean, look, let's just throw allegedly in there as well.
Yeah.
You don't want to call. Do you?
Yeah.
So we'll just allegedly.
This is all. Well, this is all on it. But he has to say allegedly if he went to court for it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll come and defend you, mate. We were just having a chat. You just accidentally pressed the record button.
Seriously, I think I'm gonna remove that be of the interview. Because otherwise, I'm never gonna get the opportunity to get
the opportunity to interview
Speaking of wrestlers here, I actually contacted one yesterday, and you know, a bit later on today, I'm gonna be DMing them, so maybe you'll be seeing a wrestler interview on the channel very soon.
Oh, good stuff, great stuff. Hey, can I ask you a question?
You know, I'm happy to answer anything that you want to ask me, mate.
What do you think of Goldberg keep making comebacks? A bloke who's my age, who's pretty much knackered now, they keep dragging him out, they keep wheeling him out. But what do you think to that?
I personally, I've never rated Goldberg anyway, even in his prime. Obviously, I wasn't really of the age to watch him live, but I've gone back and watched some of his stuff in WCW, and I didn't really like him then when he was in his prime. So nowadays, I really don't like him.
Yeah, he's I totally agree with you, mate. It was like I say a one-trick pony. It was wrestling, kick the door down, come through some fireworks, come in, spare somebody, give them the old lift them up, and slam them, and that was it. And it was like, yeah, he didn't really have much mic work. He couldn't build a story, so I totally agree with you. To be fair, dude, it was explosive, but that was about it.
Like, you know when WWE went to Saudi Arabia last year, yeah? Because you know they got to deal with them over there. They had Goldberg versus The Undertaker, and basically it was really sad because The Undertaker nearly died. Because when Goldberg went up to do the jackhammer, he dropped The Undertaker straight onto it. You know what I'm going to say? Literally, The Undertaker could have died if he was.
Yeah. Totally, yeah, I've seen it, mate. I've seen it on YouTube. And you do actually have to think, what the fuck is going on? Because, and that's one of the reasons why I've actually fell out of love with wrestling, because they just keep bringing back they brought Edge back. And I love Edge. Absolutely love him. He was a real good wrestler. But really, you know, you can't tell me there's not younger lads and girls out there who could do the same job given the chance. You know, I don't want to see Edge come back. I want to remember Edge back in his prime.
There is, but they don't like to build them up for some reason, because they don't like to do the hard work anymore. They want instantly success. Like back in the day, they used to give people like Austin time to really build himself up as a character. But nowadays, they just don't give people the opportunity to really build a character.
Yeah, you're dead right, mate. Just let somebody come with you with the ideas and let them build a character. Let them build a new Stone Cold. Let them build a new Rock. You're dead right, mate. Totally agree with you.
That's why I just want you to support the guys and girls in the ring. To be honest, like, I don't support WWE anymore. I support the guys and the girls in the ring. Because in the ring, they're really talented when they're given the opportunity to show that.
Yeah, you're dead right, mate. The trouble is with Vince, he's getting old and he should retire. And he seems to think by bringing Goldberg back or bringing whoever back, he's getting his youth back. But he's not. Vince, just sod off now and let Triple H run it with Stephanie, and let's see how we go.
Like, you know, we were talking like earlier. There's nothing wrong with telling people that something crap, as long as you're constructive with it. Like, if somebody went up to Vince and said, Vince, this isn't good, and actually gave him proper reasons why it wasn't good, I just think that's what I'm trying to say, is they need to get somebody in there like young to really freshen up the company, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I agree. And I think the AEW turning up and doing such a good job as well, I think that's the WWF, the bloody pandas and elephants. The WWE have got to. You're laughing at me. I'm 51, you know.
Yeah. I always find it funny when people have to correct themselves. I know exactly what they mean.
Yeah, I know. I'm always correcting myself in it, but I'm not June's doing it for me. But you know, they do. Hopefully, the AEW will give competition to the WWE and start kicking their asses. And let's have a Monday Night Wars again, like we did with WCW.
I know you said you haven't watched much AEW, but have you seen a person called Nyla Rose? She's quite a big woman.
Oh, I've not seen her, mate. I won't. No, I've not seen her.
But basically, she's the first transgender wrestler.
Really?
Yeah,
So who does she fight? Does she fight men or does she fight women?
she's a part of the women's division.
All right.
Like, I can't imagine WWE doing something like that. Can you? Can I
No,
be?
I don't know what the. You know what, right? You'd say to me, I can't imagine the WWE pulling somebody's eye out, but they've done it. Nothing shocks me nowadays.
And if they did do it, they would probably try and milk it for all the money that they could.
Oh yeah, yeah. Vince likes his money. When's enough? When is it too much money? When have you got enough? Because Vince is just greedy.
Like he tried to bring back football league. Like if you want to have a football team, an American football team, why didn't he just buy an NFL team?
That's a good point. That'd be a good question to ask him if you ever get him.
I don't think he would answer it truthfully though.
He'd be right. Well, I didn't want to buy a football team. I wanted my own league. Wouldn't it be something like that?
I would love to get the Undertaker on.
Oh, that would make you world famous. You could interview the Undertaker. Fucking hell.
Basically, I think that would be a 5-hour interview because
Yeah,
I would have so many questions.
yeah. That I tell you what, mate, that'd get you on at least Channel 4.
I'm only joking. I love you really. Anyway, what do you think about people like John Cena? Because when I was growing up, John Cena was my hero.
Do you know what? I'd love to have seen John Cena turn heel.
And I would about 2012, it would have been lovely.
Yeah, it'd have been just good to see him. Just change his character. Just, I don't know, just beat Rey Mysterio up or something like that. I think that's why people used to turn on John Cena so much, because he was just a good, pretty boy, and it was like the Hulk Hogan of the day, weren't it? But when Hulk Hogan turned heel, look how massive that were. And I reckon if John Cena had turned heel for 6 months, that'd have been bigger than Hulk Hogan.
I don't know whether you remember, but when he faced CM Punk on the 1000th episode of Raw, and he cashed in his Money in the Bank contract, I think if he would have came down after that and said, I'm cashing in my Money in the Bank, and he would have turned heel, I think it would have made the company so much money.
Yeah, it were. You're right, but I think Vince was just playing it safe, because I don't know how much merchandise Cena sold with his T-shirts, his sweatbands, his bloody headbands, and everything. They must have made a fortune. They must have sat down and thought it ain't worth changing him. But I personally think John Cena to turn heel, I would have bought a John Cena shirt if he'd have turned heel. They could have, because he always used to have the bright colours on. But if he'd have turned like a dark red, John Cena's a bastard T-shirt, it'd have been brilliant.
Another time he could have turned heel is when he faced The Rock at WrestleMania 28.
Yeah, he could have done. There were so many times they could have done it, but there you go.
I like him nowadays, but I like him as a human being nowadays.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, there was nothing wrong with him as a. I don't know what he's doing with his fucking hair though.
I actually quite like it, to be honest.
I think he looks like a right prick. Oh, good stuff.
I wouldn't wear it, but
No.
I think it suits him.
Yeah, well, I don't know. He just looks a bit. I think it's because we've seen him for so long with no hair, and then he's like just got this big mop on his head now, isn't it?
He probably did that just for Hollywood. I guarantee if he was still full time for WWE, he would not have done that.
No, no, you're right. Yeah, you're right. So good stuff. So.
Have you ever seen any of his movies, like properly, or not really? Or
No. To be honest, I'm not into films and stuff just like that. I've got fed up with them. I only really watch a lot of YouTube. I can't honestly remember. I've just not watched any TV. I've got fed up with it, and I think with the COVID thing as well, there's nothing new coming through, really, is there? So
yeah. So I assume you don't like Dwayne Johnson stuff. Then you've probably seen a couple of his.
you know, I've got nothing against Dwayne Johnson. Perhaps I should watch his stuff. I'm just not into films at the moment. I don't know. There's other stuff going on in my life where I haven't really got time to sit down and watch a movie or a film because it's a film. We live in England. We don't live in America. It's a film, not a movie.
To be honest, I would not have pulled you up on that because I call it a movie all the time. Because I told you, I learn a lot of my language from watching obviously WWE and American movies. So sometimes I find myself saying American words, and people look at me like, "Why are you saying that for? We are in England."
Yeah, Ginge comes out with a load of American stuff. She'll say, "We're putting the garbage out," and I'll say, "Since when have we lived in Los Angeles? We live in Loughborough. Pack it in."
I just think you can speak however you want as long as you know what you're saying.
Yeah, that's it. Good stuff.
So I personally, because I've seen a lot of Dwayne Johnson's movies. I think over the years he got worse and worse and worse as an actor. To be honest, I love him. I like him, and I love him as a person. But as an actor, I really don't like him nowadays. Maybe it's because his movies get too much build up. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, I'm surprised with that. I mean, like I say, I've not seen anything he's made, but I suppose it's like Jason Statham, isn't it? I mean, every time Jason Statham turns around, he's made a film. So I suppose there's too much of. Is there too much of Dwayne Johnson, or is that what it is?
I think that might be the problem because he's everywhere, isn't he? And it gets a bit
like dog shit. He's like dog shit everywhere.
Yeah, as I say, I love him. I love him as a human being. I think he comes across as a really nice guy, and I know some people like to say he just put in an act, but I genuinely do think he's a nice guy.
Yeah, I do. I think he's a nice guy. He comes across well as well, don't he? You never know if he's contracted to make so many films, do you?
Like I don't think I would ever get an interview with him now. But I would love to sit down and basically say to him, do you think you're too overhyped? Well, not overhyped. I need to try and word that better, but you know what I mean.
I know what you mean. I think if I ever got to interview The Rock, I would say, what were you fucking cooking, mate? Because we never knew. We just always can smell what The Rock's cooking. But what was you cooking?
If I had to ask you one wrestling question, I would say, why didn't you wrestle somebody like Randy Orton or somebody like that. 'Cause that was back in the day, it was a dream match of mine. Because they're both third generation superstars, aren't they? Like, obviously, Randy Orton's got his dad and his grandfather, and obviously the Rock has got his family heritage. So I would love to see a Randy Orton Rock program.
Yeah, that's a fucking good shout, mate. I used to have Randy Orton's entrance music as a ringtone. That I hear voices in my head. That was my ringtone.
I'm not a big fan of that one. I prefer the one that he had before. You probably don't remember. I think it was called Lights.
No, I can't remember that one, mate. I think it's just I hear voices in my head. They talk to me. I love that. So not really.
I liked it when it first came out, but I think he's had it for so long and I'm getting a bit bored of it now. Same thing with John Cena's theme. It worked when he was doing like the rap. It worked when he was doing the rapping stuff. But as soon as he stopped doing the rapping, I think he should have got a new theme. But then again, the whole point of his theme is that people remember it, don't they?
Yeah,
So
what was he? Thugonometry.
I don't even remember the label. I'm on that my time.
Yeah, that right, something like that, weren't it? Yeah. So yeah, good stuff. Yeah.
You know, back in the day, did you used to like the entrance themes? Well, not really, or wasn't you that bothered by?
I like the entrance things. It was good. It's like, you know, when something was kicking off in the ring and like somebody was getting a kicking by about 5 blokes,
Yeah.
and then like you'd hear the shattered glass, you know, and like Stone Cold would come in and do all that. I loved it. I loved an entrance theme music. It was brilliant.
I love Stone Cold. But do you know when he joined Vince back in 2001? Yeah, I think it killed Stone Cold for me as a character.
Yeah, you're probably right. But there's just something about Stone Cold where I just love him. Fucking love him. So he could do no wrong in my eyes, to be fair, Stone Cold.
I might be being really naive, but I think if I could find somebody to reach out to him for me, I think he'd be more than happy to come onto my podcast, because he got a podcast himself, hasn't he?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
So you never know.
You never know. Fingers crossed, buddy.
With me here, I just put it out there, because if you don't put it out there, how do you know it can't happen? I mean, it's highly unlikely, but you never know.
You don't know. You never know. You just need that one break in life to catapult you, don't you? You just need that one little bit of luck. I mean, you know, you've asked Lawrence. I mean, that's a big catch, that, isn't it? Elliot's done it. That's another big one. You got me, and you got a few others, haven't you? It's just, you've just got to take it, mate. So if you can put yourself out there and ask, you fucking do it, mate. I totally respect you.
Like a lot of people think I'm naive to reach out to some of these wrestlers, but you never know. Like, they might be having a good day one day, and they might agree to come on. As I say, a bit later on today, I'm in the DMs with a certain wrestler. I don't want to say his name, just in case it doesn't work out. Like, if I didn't take that opportunity, how would it would not have happened.
Yeah, you've got to do it, mate. I mean, every time you send a DM out to anybody, it's a big, not a risk, is it? It's just a chance, isn't it, mate? I mean, who's to say? I might have seen your DM and thought, nah, that ain't for me. But because I get so many people now asking me to do a podcast. But like I said before, if I can help somebody grow, I'm more than willing to, pass my good fortune on.
To be honest, if I hadn't done Lawrence and Elliot, would you agree to come on or not? Be honest.
Well, yeah, I'd have come on, mate. If you, I feel a bit hurt that I was the third one. No, I'd have done it, mate. You know what? I've got that many people asking, and I want to. I mean, I've just done a podcast before you. There's some lads who asked me to do one, and because I didn't do the review I wanted to do this morning, I went to Tesco's. And I thought, all right, I'll drop you the message, but you never got back quick enough, kind of thing. So I did the other one, and then cut them off and come to you.
But sorry about that, mate. I've had a lot of things going on this morning.
No worries, dude. No, it was just a pure opportunistic. It was just a chance to see if you were there earlier. That's all. But no worries. It's all good.
So, you know the AEW owner is also the owner of Spurs. No, sorry, not Spurs. Fulham.
Yeah, he is, isn't he? He's got a lot of money, isn't he? I bet Vince is worried.
I would love to get him on, not just to speak about AEW, but also to speak about Fulham. Because I do like Fulham. I think they're an underrated team.
Yeah.
Would you consider them a big club? Because I've always thought of Fulham as a big club.
I don't know, because there's a lot of clubs in the area where they are, isn't there, in London? And I don't think they can they move ground, or can they expand their ground?
Honestly, mate, I don't have a clue.
What are you fucking on about then? I wouldn't consider them a big club, but they are, they're a good club. They're a nice little family club, aren't they?
Yeah, and I do think the way they came up last time was the wrong way to go about it. Like buying all new players is absolutely the wrong way to go about it. Like, I believe you need to keep a strong core.
Yeah, you've got to have a heartbeat. You've got to have the passion for the club. They just went and bought, and I think they thought they'd stay up, but they've got rid of that Michael Jackson statue outside, haven't they?
Yeah, I'm surprised it took them as long as it did, to be honest.
Yeah, I am. I'm well surprised over that. But because I could not see the point in Michael Jackson at a football club. It just does not seem to go right.
Especially given the circumstances, allegedly.
Don't forget the allegedly. You don't want the Jacko Empire coming after you, do you? Oh dear.
Because I'm not used to doing interviews like this yet, because I'm still quite new to it. I always forget to say allegedly.
Yeah.
I end up having to take bits out of it just so I don't get sued. Like,
yeah. What you'll have to do, when you say like and subscribe, you'll have to just practice saying allegedly every 3 sentences.
Like, when they make the statement about Vince McMahon, that'll probably never come out on the channel, to be honest.
Oh, fair enough. I tell you what, I'm a bit pissed off because June's put the fucking heating on. She's put the heating on. I'm sitting in my little box room, sweating my nuts off, and she's put the heating on. Unbelievable.
Just a couple more questions, and I'll let you go down.
All right, mate, yeah.
So, I want to talk about Fox sake, how did you go win the night with it? Just it's simple.
Well, obviously, being a Leicester fan, you do actually say, "Oh, for fuck's sake," quite a lot. So I do. One of my things that I've always done during my life, I've always played with words, and it's like around in this where we live, we've got a local newspaper called the Loughborough Echo, and the thing is, like, anybody who says, "Have you read the Echo?" You'll say, "Have you read what?" And they'll say the Echo, and you say, "You what? Echo? What? Echo?" And you've got them. You're pissing yourself. So I play with words, and all for fuck's sake is just a play on words. I was going to call it the warm down or something like that, and I thought that's a bit shit. So I think for fuck's sake, perfect. It suits me down to the ground. So
to be honest, I think if you want to call it the warm down, it sounds very True Geordie like, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah, you're dead right, mate. But I think I wanted it to be Leicester City related. You know what I mean? I want it, if other teams are watching it, other supporters from other clubs want to watch it. I mean, I've just released one now. I did the Man U game on the way back in the van. I don't know. It's had 2.6 thousand views in 3 hours. I wanted it to be that it was Leicester related, but not Leicester, because I didn't want to tie Leicester City into the name of it or LCFC, because you never know if they're going to come after you and sue you for using their name. So I wanted it to be my thing, so that's why it's called Fox Sake.
With the mate, there's a YouTube channel called Chelsea, 100% Chelsea and things like that. I don't think they would have done, but you do you.
Well, we've got Leicester Fan TV, and there's a lot of clubs that use the club's name. I don't know. I just want it to be different. Whatever I do, I just want to be different to everybody else. So, you know what I mean?
I always find that weird. It's online, but they call themselves TV.
Yeah, TV. What's the Yeah, you're right. TV. Well, it's like Arsenal TV. Yeah, I mean, I do watch Arsenal TV. I think it is quite a good little chat program. Yeah, I think also they take themselves too serious, and a lot of these channels do just see blinkered visions of their club, and I think that's wrong. I mean, I'm quite critical of some of Leicester players. I'm critical of Maddison. I'm critical of Chilwell, and I think if somebody fucks up, I will say that were awful. But
Yeah.
that's the way it goes.
But you always seem very balanced. Like if somebody had a good performance, you normally say they had a good performance. And some of these personalities on these YouTube channels, it feels like they have an agenda against a certain player.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I've been quite critical of Tielemans just lately, but I don't want to be critical because he's a really good player. He's an international player. But what I've been doing, I've been watching Tielemans, and it seems like he's 2 steps ahead of what the team are doing. Do you know what I mean? It's like he can see something else that the other players can't. It's like he can see dead people, but the other teams can't. The other players can't. So I don't know. As long as a player tries, gets stuck in and earns his crust, I've got no problem with them. And I don't think Maddison's been doing that, and I don't think Chilwell's been doing that just lately.
So basically what you're saying is he's too smart for his own good.
He's too smart for Leicester's own good.
Yeah, that's what I meant. So yeah, sometimes you get played like that. That's so good. It makes the other players look weak. It makes the other No, sorry, I said that wrong. Sometimes you get played that's so good that sometimes it can make them look bad because they're trying things that the teammate can't see. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Yeah, totally agree. And if you just watch Tillemans play, he does seem to be playing where it's like he's just put the ball a little bit too far, or he's just done something else, and then he looks around and he's thinking, "Oh, for fuck's sake," he's thinking. You know what I mean? And that's what it is. And Perez, I think Perez next year, I think he'll be absolutely brilliant. I really do.
So I heard you're going to start a podcast with Uncle Steve. So what are you planning to do with it? Are you planning to get people on, or is it just you and him talking?
Well, the Unky Steve podcast were going to start, but they were going to start the week the shutdown happened. And obviously with Steve's situation is that he's got like brittle bone disease, and we can't afford Steve to get COVID.
Of course not, mate.
Yeah. So hopefully when this COVID thing soon calms down, we can get and do these podcasts. But all the podcasts were going to be was just me and Steve just sitting there. We were going to talk about his life. We were going to talk about things that were happening in the news. We were going to do like a little food review, and we were just going to put him on a podcast. And it was just going to be kept simple, no frills, just me and him talking shit.
Like, because unfortunately, obviously I have friends that have a lot of opinions, but they don't want to be on the internet like that. So it's a bit difficult. Like, I would love to have somebody that we can do one like every single week, like, because basically what I'm trying to say is that I would love to do what you and Uncle Steve are planning to do, but unfortunately, every time I try and get one of my friends to try and do something like this year, they always don't fancy it, which is fine, but it's just a bit annoying from my perspective.
Yeah, I mean, to do what we do, we're putting our faces out here to be criticised and shot down at. And you know, when I first started doing this, June didn't want me to do it because she just didn't want me to do it because we didn't know what was going to happen. Jin, she didn't want me to do it because she thought she would have been bullied at school. As if I were going to let her get bullied at school. I'd have been round there and sorted them out. You know, so you've got to think of your family and that kind of thing as well. So I think when people will probably come on with you, because other people scrutinise people so much on the internet, people get worried about what they're going to be portrayed as or seen as. Where personally, I don't give a fuck.
You know when I first heard the name King, I mean this with all the love in the world, I thought that was the name of your dog.
Yeah.
I didn't realise that was your daughter's name. I thought that was genuinely the name of your dog. What is your dog's name, by the way? I always forget.
The dog's name, we don't mention the dog's name on here because if somebody sees them and calls the dog's name, they might kidnap the dog. So we've never actually said the dog's name. Unfortunately, the doodle has died. We had to have the doodle put to sleep.
I'm sorry.
He got the big C, and there was other things wrong with him. So unfortunately, we had to have the doodle put to sleep. But the lurcher, he's still knocking around. He's a fun little chap. The lurcher's my daughter's dog. But we have got a new dog coming soon. We've put a deposit down on a new doodle. So we will have a new addition to the BBN stable soon.
I completely understand why you don't want to mention his name, because a lot of people would do some crazy stuff just for no reason. So I completely understand.
Yeah.
Why
So I'll tell you the names when we stop recording.
No, you're right. I personally like the mystery, so I'm okay with not knowing, to be honest.
Okay. Yeah. Good stuff. It's like when June never used to come on camera. People used to like it, but like now she's on camera, you can't fucking get her off.
To be honest, I thought June was a bit. I went back and watched some of your old videos first before I watched your current one, not your current ones, but your more recent ones. And I always thought June was a fictional character that you made up for the.
No, June's there. She's real. She's all yeah. She still doesn't like to come on, but when she does come on, you can't get her off. It's nightmare.
I guess for June in particular, it's a bit weird, isn't it? Because obviously you guys did not grow up in this social media era, so I imagine for an older person it must be quite weird, isn't it? That's what I would imagine anyway.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I suppose now, if I was 20 and I was doing this and I met June, or when I met her when I was 30, she would have to understand that this would be part of my life. This is what, I actually make money from this. But if somebody does this now as a living, you get used to it. You know what their living is, and that's it. But this is it's a little bit invasive on our lives, but I try not to let it get in there too much and that kind of thing. You know what I mean? It's just one of them things.
To be honest, mate, your personality, I think you'll be a good TV presenter. Obviously, I don't think they will let you be yourself, but I do think if you're willing to play the game, you could be a good TV presenter because you got that right sort of voice for it, if you know what I mean.
That's very kind of you to say so. But like you say, I don't think. I don't know. If I can't be myself, then I don't know whether I could do it because I only know myself. I don't know what a company would want me to be. I don't know. I mean, I've been controlling my swearing quite well on this today because there's no need to fill it full of profanities, but I can't be anything else than myself, and that's the problem. You know what I mean?
That's the same problem with me to a certain extent. I know that they probably not that they wouldn't like me, but I guarantee they wouldn't want to work with me just because of how I talk. Like a lot of people struggle to understand me because a lot of people can be ignorant to people with disabilities and people that are different, like different speaking and that. So I guess you're better off doing your own thing.
Yeah, that way you're your own boss, ain't you? I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I've been listening to you. I mean, obviously you're talking to her, and you have to listen to you, don't you? But all you got to do is people have to put a little bit more care into it and stop being so lazy and actually listen to what a person is saying. This is half the problem with the world today. People do not listen to what other people say because they're too busy thinking what you might say. So just shut the fuck up, listen to what somebody's saying and take it on board.
Exactly, mate. I love it. I love when you say things like, obviously I'm talking to you because it's smaller. It's smaller.
It's true. You do say things, you think, of course, how long have we been going now? We've been going nearly 2 hours.
Oh, really?
Yeah. June's gone and took the dogs for a walk on her own.
My apologies, Dave.
It's not me you got to apologise, it's June.
So my last question: how do you want people to remember the BDM channel, or even if you want to go down that route, the person? How do you want people to remember you? I guess I'm trying to say.
I don't know. Just remember me as Dave. I'm just a normal lad, and I've just had a bit of fun doing this. I never set out to change the world. All I did, I just set out to have a bit of fun. And I hope people can see that I don't want to go out there and hurt people or upset people, but I do like to give an honest opinion. I've never turned anybody away from it. If somebody wants a selfie, if somebody saw me in Loughborough now and they wanted a selfie and they were worried about the COVID thing, just come and ask me, and I'll be quite willing to stand next to you and have a photo. Just, I don't know, just think of me as, yeah, Dave. Dave was all right.
Yeah, for me, yeah, I could never give autographs. So for me, a photos, all that I can do. So I fully understand what people like to have photos, because a photo means more, doesn't it, to a person? Well, I think it does anyway.
Yeah, I agree, mate. I agree.
So anyway, thank you for coming on, Dave. I hope you guys enjoyed that. So as I said, thank you, Dave. You want to promote your social media, even though people know who you are, but you can.
Yeah, I've got a Twitter account at Blue Van Man 4, and I've got Instagram account, and I think it's Blue Van Man YT. I'm not sure. I don't go in for all this publicising my stuff, but yeah, you'll catch me on YouTube on Blue Van Man. So,
Yeah.
well, thank you for having me on, mate. If you ever want me to come on again in the future, just drop us a DM or let Elliot know, and we'll sort something out, mate.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and get you on before you I'm gonna try and get you on once you've had a couple episodes of your podcast, so you can promote that.
Okay, yeah, that's great, mate. That's a great idea. I'm just hoping Uncle Steve don't die before I do it.
I'm sure he won't, mate.
Say again, dude. Say again.
I said I'm sure he won't, mate.
Yeah, I'm there. Yeah, he won't. He'll be all right. I'll just have to get a defibrillator and
I have never seen a podcast with a corpse.
I think you should. I could get some Leicester players at the moment. I bet they're a corpse.
Anyway, guys, thank you for watching, and speak to you later.
All right, mate. Thank you. Bye bye. Look after yourself and stay safe.
And you.